Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BATBOMB82, and today I'll be doing my 214th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of the Batman. Now, taking a look at the front of the box, we can see some really cool artwork in which I think this is the actual image of Robert Pattinson as Batman. Turning the box around, we can see multiple images and panels showcasing the figure in multiple posing positions with his different interchangeable parts and accessories. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Robert Pattinson as the Batman. This is one, I'm not gonna lie, I was very worried for because I actually really do love this suit, and I think Robert Pattinson was such a good Batman. Like, I really want to see more with that guy in this character. But, you know, Mezco can be hit and miss sometimes with their live action stuff, and the promo pictures weren't quite doing it for me. But I will say in hand, I do feel like this is a lot better than I was expecting. Now, I do have the SH Figure Arts version. I will compare that shortly. But I think this looks really good, man. And I really do mean that. I think the suit looks fantastic. People can complain about, like, accuracies and things like that. I understand all that. Personally, that doesn't bother me if this thing isn't super 100% screen accurate to what we finally saw in the films. That's all over the place, you know what I mean? So this still looks good. It still looks like the Robert Pattinson Batman. But again, I just love it. I love the texture on the cowl there. I love the chest with the bat logo on there. That looks really good. I love how you can see a little bit of a silver dry brush on there to make it look a little worn and dirty. I think that's super cool. The shoulder pads look great, even little silver rivets like that, little orange buckles and straps. The darts on there on the gloves look really good, and I love how how they did like the bat wings with those straps that you could pull on those. I think that's really genius how they did that. And then the soft goods themselves. Here's the thing. People may or may not like the soft goods. I understand because it bulks him out a bit. Here's two things that you can go with. Naturally, a lot of the Mezco figures in this line are a little more bulkier than your maybe like say your SH Figure Arts or Figma, things like that. If you're not used to that, I don't know what to tell you. And then plus the natural thing of, you know, fabric bulking up a figure at this scale is gonna happen. So he doesn't look as lean as a lot of people may want. For me, I prefer it like this because, and it's funny, I was just thinking a few days ago, I really hope Robert Pattinson bulks up a bit and gets a little chunkier, you know what I mean? Because he needs to put on some more muscle and more thickness. So this works for me. Won't work for everyone, but I do enjoy it. It's a nice thick material, and I love the belt here. Wow, the belt has so much going on. I love all the little pouches and little carabiners and things like that, and all that kind of stuff looks really good throughout the figure. I love how the holster actually connects to the belt like that. That's really good too. And again, more of that soft goods material looks really good. There's these really thin pale orange lines. I don't know how accurate that is to the final suit. I could be mistaken. Again, I don't know if they use like images before the movie actually came out. So, you know, things always change when it comes to stuff like that. So that's, I kind of wish those weren't there. I mean, but it is that it is. I might have to take a Sharpie to that or something, I don't know. But the boots themselves do look really good. I love the tread on the feet and things like that. And I love how we can even see like the material of the fabric where it has like these little, I don't know, lines here, textured, things like that. Even on the side of the pant leg, like that, looks really good. I really do enjoy the look of this figure. This cape is awesome. It does have bendy wire in it, much like I just talked about with my Olomo Rook video. It has a really dope cape, but that thing is so heavy and weighty, and the gauge of wire that they use for that cape just would not hold it up. This is a nice thinner material, and it has that kind of like pleather-like look. So when you do have the bendy wire in there and pose it around, it actually does hold the cape up a lot better than that Olomo Rook cape did. So overall, I think this looks really awesome, dude. I love it. Again, maybe not the most accurate thing, but that, again, none of that bothers me just because in hand, I think this thing looks like a total badass. Now moving on to accessories, you can of course see that we get the Mezco circular base stand with the movie The Batman logo right there, which looks really nice, as well as a clear articulated arm. Now, we also do get a bunch of interchangeable hands with different types of gripping hands and closed-fisted hands and things like that, which I think is great. I also love the fact that we have those like batarang holding hands, and then that kind of like electricity hand, which I think is really cool. I love this because this is that from that scene where he like pretty much electrifies some dude. Doesn't he do it like in the neck or the face or something like that? I can't remember. So that's pretty cool, and you got the little effect piece attached to that. And I actually really do enjoy this, because this could be kind of a pain in the butt sometimes when it comes to like batarang holding hands. So this is actually like, I believe, glued in place to these, and you got one for each side, so that's really cool. And those are very nicely painted, so I do like that, especially for posing and things like that. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna try and do this like this. So you got multiple types of batarangs, which I think are really nice, and you got all types of gadgets like the grappling hook there, and those really small accessories, like things like the sticky bomb and stuff. Those are so tiny to get out. I don't even want to remove them from the tray because I feel like I will lose them. And then you can see I think that's the little adrenaline needle thing. Damn, dude. Again, such tiny little accessories, but you get a lot of cool stuff there, which again, I do like. But I mean, are any of us really going to be using those kind of things? You know, I'm not going to complain about my extra accessories, but my God, my fat fingers will never be able to handle that kind of stuff. So we do got a few more things going on here. So I'm gonna lift these arms up like this. We do get these like flares types things. Now it's supposed to be like the UV stick that he holds up and to help guide people. You know, when they're escaping, or they're trying to rescue them out of that arena. This can slide in there. I was hoping it was like UV reactive. I tried my black light on it, but that does not work. And you got another one right here that you can put into the belt like that. You got this really cool sticky bomb gun, which I think is really nice. Not an actual grapple gun, because he didn't actually have a grapple gun in the movie, that you could holster right in there. Now, as far as the grapple guns themselves, if you guys remember, they would come out of the gauntlet like that, so you can see them. They have it on both sides. This can just unplug like this, and what you could do, let me see if I can get this right one. You could put this one that just pegs in right in there like that. And then you can kind of like position the hand to properly grip that like so, and that's how you'll have your grapple guns. And it's cool, you actually get one for each side, so you get two for this side for some reason, or one for each side like that, and then two for this side, I guess in case you lose one or whatever. Again, never gonna complain about extra accessories, but that's really cool. You do got a pair of handcuffs. That's really nice. Always love getting little accessories like that. And then that's pretty much it. That breaks down all of his other things and little gadgets and things like that. But, you know, we do have things like this crazy ass flight suit. And let me show you how this thing works. Okay, so now in order to put this on, you're going to want to take the hands off and just leave those off. The cape is also going to stay on. You're going to kind of want to just pull it back and kind of like bunch it behind him, so it's kind of like pulled back thin like that. This thing does have working zippers, two like that going down the middle, and you can pull this open. So we're going to do it something like that. And then what you're going to want to do, I like to do the legs first, and then do one side at a time. You get the sleeve up like that, and then pull this arm back a little bit, and pull that sleeve up like that. And you're going to want to like spread these legs open a little bit like so, because there is a Velcro piece that you're going to want to like pinch together to really clasp that together like that. And then we can go ahead and zip this section up like so, all the way up. And the same thing on this side, right there, like that. Go ahead and tuck that in the little arm like that. And then let's go ahead and put on some hands here. It really doesn't matter which hands. I mean, you do have more open palm hands for like flying poses if you want to do something like that. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on. And then we'll go ahead and put this other one that I cannot find right now. I don't know where the hell you went, but you're here somewhere. So whatever. I'm just gonna put these hands on like that, and then you can stretch the arms up like this, and then spread the legs like that, and then you kind of have him kind of like looking up. And this is cool. It is what it is. I'm never gonna display him this way, but again, I will never complain about extra accessories. This is just something that was pretty unique to certain scenes in the movie, and I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that they incorporated this and they gave it to us as an accessory. I haven't seen any other companies do this, maybe for a specific reason, but it's fun, especially for taking pictures and things like that, if you want to take some cool figure photography and stuff. But it just looks a little weird. I like it, but I don't need it. It's a give or take with me. So now the last things I do want to show off are going to be all the different interchangeable head sculpts. So we do get 4 interchangeable heads all together, which I think is really cool. Here's the thing. I actually do like all of these in person. You know, when I'm taking pictures and when I'm seeing them in my videos here, I think the details really being washed out with my lights. They are not perfect by any means, but you know, for a lot of us that have been collecting Mezco for a while, Mezco can be hit and miss when it comes to their actual likenesses, when it comes to certain actors and things like that. I do not think this one is bad. Trust me, I've seen other Pattinson figures that look way freaking worse. So this is not bad, especially again, once you have it in hand in person, I think actually it does look a lot better. But the head sculpts that we do get here are pretty good. I love the first Stoic one. I think that's the one I'm gonna be displaying my particular one with. Then we have one where he's giving the sexy lips, you know, he's focusing. I don't know if he's checking out Catwoman or what. I totally get it. But he has one where he's a little more open mouth, a little more pissy, which looks really good. And then the unmasked one, I think looks really good. Again, it's not perfect. It could be better, of course, but I do not think that looks bad at all. I've definitely seen worse in action figures. The hair looks great with that emo eye makeup, him looking all pissy. I think it looks really, really cool. Again, not great, but it does look good. And then the very, very last thing here, we're going to get a separate cowl piece like this, which he can just like hold in his hand. So that's pretty cool. If you have him, you know, unmasked, just pop this off, pop the head on like that, and you want to make it look like he's holding his actual cowl or something, put it in his hand, something like that. You can do that. So I think that's cool, man. I really do like that. I think this is just a really fun figure. I really do. So now let's go ahead and run down articulation, as it can be a little tricky with this guy, and you'll see what I mean. The head is on a ball joint, so that rolls around very nicely, does turn left and right, looks up pretty decently down that far, and then wobble side to side. Arms can go all the way up that far, down that much. I love how the rubber pieces or the soft plastic pieces are kind of like floating over the fabric, so they don't really get in the way. So you can go like all the way up with this. You can kind of lift that thing out of the way if you want to. They can go very, very high up. Rotation at the bicep. We got double jointed elbows that bend very nicely. That works out really good. We got rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. Now here's the thing. Again, the fabric is pretty bulky here, so it isn't a double ball peg, so it rolls around, does turn left or rotate left and right like that. Pivot side to side pretty good. Crunches back about that far. Forward, that's where we're going to get a little tricky, but it can go forward about that much. So I wish that were a little better, but again, the bulkiness of the fabric and this harder plastics, there's kind of like no way around that. Here's the legs can be a little tricky too. You got to kind of move that fabric out of the way, but he can kick up about that far. And if you kind of like move the fabric along, and then that goes about that far, I think that's pretty good. Back, not so much. Splits out about that far. Rotation of upper thigh. We got double jointed knees where he can kick himself in his own butt. A little bit of a boot rotation, and the ankles are on ball pegs, so those roll around, rotate up and down, and a fairly decent ankle rocker. So overall, you know, the articulation is not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Again, it can be finicky, again, with the bulkiness of the material, the fabric, and then like the plastic pieces. That's just physics. You can't get around that. But what you do get here, I think, is really good. I think this is a badass figure, man. I love Robert Pattinson in this Batman movie. And in my opinion, at this scale, I think this is the best version of this Batman that you can get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here is the Robert Pattinson SH Figuarts Batman. And for a couple other movie Batman figures from Mezco, here he is standing next to Ben Affleck and the '89 Michael Keaton Batman. So there it is, guys, my review of Robert Pattinson's The Batman from Mezco. Now overall, I think this is a pretty badass figure.
I will have my issues with the articulation. The bulk of the fabrics can hinder a lot of the articulation in certain areas, especially around the abdomen area. So getting those crunches backward and forward and to the sides can be a little tricky, but the arms and legs actually do work very well. Once you move the fabric around, you can get some pretty badass poses. I actually really do like the cape. Again, it is a nice lighter material, unlike the Olomo Rook cape, which I had a major issue with. This one does flow and holds up really nicely with that specific gauge of wire. I actually really do like the head sculpts. Again, they can be soft when in little areas. That's just something I've become used to with Mezco figures. They're not the best, but they are definitely not the worst, and I actually really do like that unmasked head. And then all the different accessories that you get, those little tiny little things that I just do not want to pick up with my fat fingers. I will definitely lose all those pieces. That's why I don't even want to remove them from their plastic prisons. But everything else here is pretty awesome. I love the grappling hands with the batarangs attached and that electricity effect. I even do love that flight suit, even though I'm really not going to use it and need it. But hey, again, I'm never going to bitch about extra accessories. I think this is an awesome figure. I love Robert Pattinson as Batman. And I think this is the best figure of that design for Batman in the scale that you could possibly get. And for me, he is definitely a must get. So be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.